Hey, I'm back on YouTube, finally. Sorry for the massive gap between videos. I just got so busy. I had an awards process that I went through in the midst of a pretty hectic healing process, and just catching up on work around all of that has consumed all of my time and energy. And now I'm back and I'm hoping I'll be able to do weekly videos again. I'm gonna really force myself because I actually really love this platform, so I'm gonna prioritize it a bit better. And yeah, I constantly get feedback about them in the sense of like emails and messages, and then prospective clients and stuff who say they watched all my videos and, you know, implemented a lot of the stuff. And it always reminds me why I need to make videos. So here I am, I'm back. And all I'm going to talk about in this video is pretty much what I've been doing and where I'm at and what you can expect in the future. So stick around if you are wondering about any of that. First thing off the bat is that I won a Telstra award for my business in the category of accelerating women. So this is my award. Very nice. Totally not on my branding theme, but love it all the same. So that was in March. That's how long ago that was. So I won the ACT award. It was a really rigorous process. I was really surprised that I won, but it meant a lot to me because the fitness industry or nutrition, wellness, health space is so oversaturated now, and to be honest, much of the content that you see is total junk written by influencers with hot bodies, and sometimes I feel really overwhelmed by that. So that's why I like to go through these proper award processes, because they actually vet your business, that it's legitimate, that you're actually helping people. And I really find that that is kind of a valuable asset to have in an oversaturated, highly unregulated industry. So that is why I went through the process, and it also really helps you like get super clear on where you've been, where you're at, and where you're headed. Yeah, so it was an amazing process. And then as a result of that, I went to a national event in Melbourne where I had to deliver a pitch to 3 judges, and they gave me really great feedback. They didn't win the national award, like I wasn't surprised about that. It was pretty amazing, the other businesses that are there and all their stories and stuff. So yeah, best experience, but it just took up the whole of March. And I also did like a really deep immersion session with my psychologist, like in that same month, in between the 2 events. So I was away for 10 days doing that and processing and stuff. That's regarding my PTSD healing that I'm working on. Yeah, so it took me most of April just to get back on top of the work because I really felt like I was falling behind. So yeah, that's why I disappeared. Yeah, so that's the first thing I was doing. So I'll pop in the description box below my like acceptance speech in case you're interested in seeing that. Yeah, but I was super honored. And then also on the back of that, I went on Sunrise, the morning show. That was really cool. We had like a prep. It was meant to be like a 2-minute interview, but it got completely cut short because Trump stole the airways when he got arrested or turned himself in or something. So whatever, but it was fun. So yeah, that's the first thing I did. The second thing that's really holding me back at the moment, but it's also a really great thing, is my healing, my PTSD. So physically, I'm feeling healthier than I've ever felt in my life, but it's actually a really hard process. So I'm not talking about healing in the sense of like tarot decks and crystals and moon parties. I'm talking about like really going into past trauma and basically releasing what they call survival energy. So when you're really young, or when your nervous system's really overwhelmed because either you can't process it at the time, you don't have the ability, or you know, the opportunity or the support or whatever it is, the body can actually get stuck in this what they call survival energy. Somewhere between fight and flight and immobilization. There's all this charge stuck in your nervous system. And I had quite a lot of stuff happen when I was younger over a period of time. And basically, that is what led me to have mental health issues, chronic fatigue, and all of these things. So it was my deep search for a cure for my mental health and my physical health that led me down this path. Yeah, but it's just been really crazy. So I started that in April last year. I did my last immersion session in March. So yeah, about a 12-month process. And now I'm just in this weird space where I can just feel all of my feelings. And it's really overwhelming. So I used to be completely dissociated and I didn't even know that. So I just wondered why I didn't really feel that much. So I never really felt love. I never really felt like I was always depressed, kind of mildly depressed. And I had a lot of social anxiety and stuff, but it was never really, I could never identify what those emotions were. I just knew that they were overwhelming, but I was really able to actually just get my mental space, like mostly focus on my business. That is why I know so much about women's health, is because that is where I channeled all of my, what we call survival energy, into that space. So now I've had to take a step back from that, and all of that energy is actually going into processing these events and helping my body heal. So what I've had to do is really step back and make space for that. Like on some days I actually meditate for about 4 hours in a day because I'm trying to make space for what's coming through, and that sort of accelerates the process. Yeah, so that's been really full on, but it's really informing where I'm going to be headed in the future. So what I pitched at the Telstra Awards and what I put together for them was actually a future business model for Wildly Strong. It's kind of in the process of going there now. There's one more big sort of step I need to take, and they absolutely loved the idea. They think it's needed. There's nothing like it. So that is something I'm actually working on. So another reason why I'm going a bit quiet is because I'm in this interim space. So not only do I have to manage all these feelings that are coming up, and when I'm saying like I feel anxious and depressed, it's actually quite extreme. So it's actually really hard for me to focus. Like I can see now why people like lean on Valium and, you know, alcohol and whatever to try and manage their emotions, because it's a lot all at once. Yeah, but it's settling down slowly, and I have like lots and lots of good days, then I have a couple of bad ones, then I have really good days, then I have a couple of bad ones. But every time I break through one, I kind of have better energy on the other side. So it's just really slowly, everything's improving. Yeah, so I was thinking with my YouTube videos moving forward, I'm probably not going to stick myself to a deadline every week. I'm just going to post them as I can. So I'll film them when I have the energy and when I have the inspiration, but I'm not going to force myself to a timeline because I ended up just making about 100 fat loss videos because they were the easiest ones for me to do. Yeah, but I want to really, I guess, put a lot of thought into the content and just make sure I'm giving you all a really diverse subject matter, and also starting to lead into where I'm headed in the future with my business, which is actually very much about women's health and well-being, but it's a little bit trauma focused. So that's kind of where I head in the future. I've got a partnership kind of planned out, which will be starting to work on something together once I am in a really ideal spot, which I don't think I'm very far off that, actually. I don't think I'm far off that. I'm just working away in my own life, processing all my stuff. And yeah, but I have a few clients doing the process too in terms of their trauma healing, and it's been amazing seeing how things that they've really struggled with for 4, 5, 6 years that I've known them are really starting to shift as well. So it's really cool. Can't wait to link these things up. And I definitely know that it is my calling in a way, because you could never know this, you could never understand it. There's no way you could understand it on an intellectual level without actually going through it. So yeah. So that's the awards, that's the healing stuff, the future. Yeah, and then as far as training and diet's concerned, I did a little bit of a fat loss process. I lost 1.5 kilos, was feeling really good. But then last night I had a flashback, which is basically like where your body goes into this, where it was when it was little, in a state of trauma state. And it completely blows up your nervous system. So I'm gonna have to put a block to that one for probably 2 weeks or so, just to let my body recover. And then I'll start that process again. So I'm actually really wanting to lose fat at the moment, only about 4 or 5 kilos, nothing crazy, just because I don't quite fit into my wardrobe. I'll actually document that because I'm taking a slightly different approach. So I will share that in a video in the future. That's where I'm at. Yeah, and I really want my videos to be a little bit more, I don't want to say honest and real because everything I say is honest and real, but a little bit more transparent as far as where I'm at and what I'm doing, because it's actually something that I share with all my clients at the moment, and they benefit a lot from it, and they're all starting to branch out and get more interest in doing, you know, somatic practices and trauma healing and deep diving and more meditation and all this kind of thing, and it's really helping their health and well-being goals move up to the next level. So yeah, that's it for me. Back on the YouTube to have a video. Our podcast is going to come later in the year. So once I have this last piece, I think it's going to take me about 6 months. I've actually just signed up to a program with a business, like an online business mentoring coach. So I'm still keeping the Wildly Strong name. I'm just ditching a few aspects of that business and I'm actually moving it into another sort of space. And that'll be at the end of the year. So I'll probably be launching that in January along with a podcast. So podcast has been a long-term goal of mine. It's just one of those things where I'm only going to do it when I am really consistent. And energetically, I'm not that consistent at the moment, and I cannot be because of what I'm working on, and healing myself is actually my number one priority, and it has been for my entire life. So it's a non-negotiable process. I will always show up the best that I can. I understand the videos are really helpful. So if you have any suggestions on what you would like me to cover, anything to do with women's health and well-being is totally up my alley. I will literally, even if I have to research for a video, I will. So yeah, pop any ideas in the comments or send me a message or an email, something like that. And I will, yeah, make way more content moving forward, and good to be back. I really don't know what else to say. So I'll see you in the next video.